this is Paul back here at Asher Automotive YouTube. Just want to talk to you guys a little bit about the Powerstroke series and kind of the evolution of the Powerstroke series in the Fords. Just to start off with, in my personal opinion, the 7.3 was always the strongest and most reliable engine that Ford had. Just had less problems, less of those little issues that the later model engines had. You know, it had its problems, of course, just like anything else after you drive it long enough, but it just seemed to hold up better. Just the way parts are made and designed back in those days, you know, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, was just a better quality product than what they're coming out with now. I mean, I tell everybody all the time, you know, it's a plastic world we live in. I mean, basically what I'm trying to tell you is that pretty much every part that is designed now is designed to wear out at certain times and certain intervals. And unfortunately, those intervals and times are much shorter than they were back, you know, 25, 30 years ago. The only reason Ford went away from the 7.3 was because they wanted more horsepower, more towing capacity, you know, that type of thing. The problem is they opened up a whole nother can of worms when they switched from the 7.3 to the 6.0, because the 6.0 had a lot of reliability issues, kind of going back to the heads and head bolts and, you know, things like that people always upgraded, tried to upgrade the fuel systems in it to get a little more power out of it. The problem is the engine itself could handle it, but the externals around the engine and on top of the engine could not handle that extra oomph. So Ford decided to come out with the 6.4. That was even worse of a nightmare. The 6.4 was just littered with issues. It had fuel system issues. It had bottom end, lower end issues that the two previous ones didn't have from time to time. You know, everybody had good experiences with each one of those engines, and everybody had bad experiences. So, you know, you're going to get a litany of different opinions on those particular engines going through the years. But to be honest with you, just from my side of things, being in the industry as long as I have, you see certain trends and certain things, and I can tell you for a fact that the 7.3 was just a lot more reliable engine than the 6.0 and 6.4s. Now, shops love the 6.0s and 6.4s because they made a ton of money off of them because they broke down a lot more. The 6.4 itself was, well, for one, they hadn't perfected the fuel system. It wasn't necessarily the CP3 or the high pressure system. It was more the low pressure system in conjunction with the high pressure system. You also had some lower end issues, oiling type issues from time to time with the 6.4s. You know, anytime you have a lubrication issue or things like that in any engine, especially in a diesel engine where its reliability depends on that lubrication from, you know, diesel fuels and from engine oil, you're going to have a lot of problems with that thing. And so to combat that, Ford came out with the 6.7 different fuel system. Again, opened up a whole nother can of worms because everybody knows the 6.7 high pressure fuel system is a complete disaster. It's a ticking time bomb. It's not a matter of if it's going to go, but when it's going to go. I've seen those failures as early as 75,000 miles. Of course, I've seen them last 175,000 miles before they go out. And they've come out with a bunch of different things that you can do to, you know, help protect your injectors, and, you know, I'm talking about the prevention kits and things like that. They've even also come out with upgraded fuel pumps that you can put on there in place of the CP4. Because if you go back with the original, when this thing grenades and fails, you know, you're talking $10,000 to $12,000 to replace the entire fuel system in one of these. And I don't, you know many people that want to just plunk down $50,000 or $60,000 or now even higher than that for a truck, and then have to come up with $10,000 or $12,000 for a fuel system. So in this shop's opinion, the 7.3 is by far the superior engine, even though it lacked the horsepower, torque, pulling capacity, towing capacity, things like that you see in the newer, later trucks. I hope this helps you guys. I hope that you get some understanding. You know, if you're out there looking for one of these trucks, maybe this will help you in your buying decisions and things like that. If you need any help in choosing that next truck, we do pre-purchase inspections and things like that, and we'll give you a really good look at your truck that you're trying to buy. If you got any questions, concerns, put them down there in the comments section. We'll see you next time.